Hey, if you're one of the millions of Americans who fell for this viral article that's been published everywhere, including the Wall Street Journal, then you're going to want to pay attention. Hey guys, my name is David Brooke. I'm owner of the Brooke team at EXP, and today I'm covering a viral article that went out everywhere, including Redfin and the Wall Street Journal, saying that the real estate market has completely shifted at this point and that there are over 500 more sellers than there are buyers. And if you're any student of economics or even just know somewhat about real estate or any market, we know that if we have more sellers than we have buyers, then prices are starting to come down. And most people are panicking, thinking, this is it. This is that market crash that my dear Uncle John has been talking about for years and years. It's about to happen. Well, in some areas of the country, although there are more sellers than there are buyers, it's not true everywhere. And I want to break apart this article just really quickly, especially if you fell for it. So the first thing that I want to share with you is that Redfin and their article here is saying that there's over 1.9 million active listings on the market right now. But here's the definition of their active listings. This includes both homes that are on the market and those that are on the market, and maybe, as Zillow says, accepting backups, or as the MLS says, it's under contract but continue to show. These are properties that are not actually available. They have a contract with them, but they're already sold. And the problem with this is that it inflates the amount of quote unquote active listings on the market so significantly higher than the actual real number. So hey, at the time of this video, there are about, according to the MLSs around, and we pull from Realtor.com, which pulls from all of the MLSs, there's just under 1 million homes for sale. And so this article states how there's over 1 million buyers, just over 1 million buyers, 1.3, 1.4 million buyers that are out there. But the problem is that it says that there's 1.9 million homes. Well, that's actually not true. The article then goes on to say that there are significantly more new construction homes that are coming to the market and that are on the market right now. So it inflates the number yet again. In fact, it says that there are over 500,000 new construction homes that are on the market right now, when in fact, there's only about 117,000 of those homes. So we're talking about 20% of them-ish that are actually available for you to move into. So let's think about that. Just because you drive by a vacant piece of land and there's a sign in front that says it could be a new construction home, doesn't really feel like that's the actual inventory that if some buyer went out today and wanted to buy a house that they could buy. And so this article is really inflating a lot of that active listings to include properties that are A, not even built yet, and B, are already under contract. So listen, if you're one of those people who clicked on this article or you saw someone who shared it with you, I just want to provide a little more in-depth knowledge as to what's happening in the real estate market rather than just the clickbait that's out there. All right, guys, let's dig into some real numbers as to what's happening in Connecticut. All right, so here's the data that's happening here in Connecticut. So if we just look at the entire state of Connecticut and we look at the market pricing, you can see in comparison, you've got this this chart that's it has 3 separate years that's happening here, 2023, 2024, and 2025. And in those, you can see the path or the trajectory of this median sale pricing as it goes throughout these 3 years. And you can see that 2025 is yet again exceeding all of those numbers that's happened over the previous years. We can also see that the market activity and the median sale price has grown. And since 2002, we've had 339,000 was the median sale price. Today in 2025, it's over $405,000 is the median sale price. And we can see the volume of these sales is continuing to increase. Here's another segment here on the yearly buyer demand that's happening. And you can see that over the years, the days on market has continually lowered over the course of these last few years, and that the percent of bids per asking price has continued to increase. Now, here is something important that you want to see. Am I saying that the market is not shifting? Absolutely not. If you go ahead and subscribe to our channel, then you'll realize that in our past videos, I've shared with you about how the market is shifting. It is changing, and you can start to know it with very little and subtle tweaks that are happening. There's the nuances of the market. You're starting to see the percent that buyers are bidding over the list price start to tick down a little bit. You're starting to see the days on market start to tick up a little bit, which is actually finding ourselves, here it is, folks, ready? A normalizing market. That's what we're getting to. So we're shifting away from this ultra buyer market, ultra seller market into a more normalized market. All right, here's some more data for those of you who absolutely love it. This is the weekly inventory for what's happening in Connecticut right now. You can see the new listings by week starting to creep up greater than in 2024 or in 2025. But we already predicted this before. We already said that in 2025, we were gonna have more inventory, and that's the case. Sellers are coming off the sidelines saying, you know what, these rates are starting to come down a little bit. That we're kind of normalizing as well into these, understand these interest rates are gonna be in the 6s and the high 5s. We understand that for our new house, we're okay with that. And so they're starting to put their homes on the market. We're getting more inventory. As that more inventory comes to market, you're gonna start to see more buyers come out and have opportunities to put homes under contract. Now, here's the contracts by week. We're starting to see a little bit of a cool that's happening over the past few weeks. Now, that's not due to say the market is crashing. All that's saying is the market is starting to normalize. And a normalization means that there's a nice curve that's beginning to happen and it's starting to just flatten out a little bit and move through. So I've got a lot of encouragement to share with this data for you. If you've been in the market before and you're a little bit like, you know what, maybe I should get back in, I'm telling you, this is the opportunity market. And here's why. If you haven't paid attention before, pay attention right now, because if you're about to buy a home, this is the opportunity season. The Fed has already indicated, and Fannie Mae has already indicated, that the rates are likely to drop by the end of the year, but that doesn't necessarily mean wait. That's a good sign and an opportunity sign that says, if I wait, here's what's gonna happen. Everyone else is thinking to themselves, oh, I'll just wait till these rates go down, which means what? More buyer competition comes into the market when those rates drop. Not if, when those rates drop, the buyer competition comes in, and this is proven time and time again. As rates drop, more buyers into the market. In fact, for every 1% that rates drop, 5 million buyers across the United States enter into the market. So what that means for the home buyers today is, if you've been a little bit exhausted, you're probably finding that the homes are sitting just a little bit longer. You're seeing just a few more homes available for sale, and maybe you're not having to bid as much over the list price. If you decide to wait, you might get a little bit of an interest rate bump, but you're probably also going to see more buyers in the market. Now, if you do find a home right now during this time of opportunity, the good news is that as rates are predicted, yes, not if, but when they do drop, that's the opportune moment as to take advantage of this appreciation and then refinance on the back end. Now, every home is subject to a different story, and so we're so grateful for those who have already reached out, but I can't encourage you enough. Don't get your news from social media about real estate. Instead, go to the experts who are in the trenches every single day working hard for it. That's this team at Brooke Team. If you're looking for real estate agents who are engaged, who are constantly paying attention to the market, who are looking at data like this, who are very, very diligent about providing this data to their clients, then reach out below. We'd love to hear from you to decide if now is the right time for you to buy or sell a home.